Welcome back to the Business Ignite podcast, where we light the fire for business growth and marketing success. Your hosts, Ethan Walker and Samantha Reed, bring you the latest trends, expert insights, and actionable strategies to fuel your business journey. Let's ignite your potential.
Today we're tackling a question that I know keeps a lot of business owners up at night. Do you really need a marketing plan?
It's one of those things, right?
Like, everyone says you do, but is it really that make or break?
Right.
And we're not just talking theory here. We're going to break down how a marketing plan plays out in the real world.
The day-to-day.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've got a fantastic article from 95Visual, a company that lives and breathes the digital world.
They know their stuff.
They really do. And get this, right off the bat, they make this bold statement. They practically argue that a marketing plan is more important than a business plan for a lot of businesses out there. I know. So I've got to ask, what do you make of that statement? Especially coming from a company like 95Visual that's so plugged into the digital marketing world.
You know, it's funny because on the surface, it sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah, it does.
But when you think about how 95Visual operates, it starts to make sense. The digital world, it's all about data. And data changes constantly.
Oh, for sure.
I remember this one company, they had this amazing product, a solid business plan, everything, but they launched it without really considering how their target audience was using TikTok. Like, TikTok was everything for that demographic.
They missed the boat.
Completely. And it cost them thousands of potential customers right out of the gate. And that's where a marketing plan comes in. A good one wouldn't just have flagged that TikTok was crucial. It would give them a roadmap to adapt their whole strategy.
It's like having this amazing, shiny new spaceship that's your business plan.
I like that.
But you forgot to install a navigation system. And that navigation system, that's your marketing plan. Without it, you're just lost in space.
Love that analogy.
So the article dives into a bunch of reasons why not having that plan can really trip you up.
Right.
And the first one they hit on is the danger of a lack of objectives. And I'll be honest, I've been guilty of this myself. You get so caught up in just getting things done.
The day-to-day whirlwind.
Yes, that you don't take the time to step back and go, okay, what am I actually trying to achieve here?
It's so easy to fall into that trap.
Mm.
But the data's clear companies with really clear, defined goals. They're just way more profitable.
They've got that North Star.
Exactly. They're like the difference between wandering around in the woods hoping you stumble across something good.
Versus having a treasure map.
Yes. And that lack of direction, it just kind of seeps into everything a business does. Think about a time you walked into a store and just felt off. Like, maybe the staff didn't seem sure what was going on, or the products were all over the place.
No, I've been there.
Customers, they pick up on that lack of focus. And it can really impact how they see the whole brand, you know? And that's something 95Visual really nailed in this article.
They did. It's like walking into, say, your favorite bookstore. Everything's organized. It's clear what they're about. You just feel confident that you're in the right place.
Absolutely.
It's so true. And speaking of feeling lost, the 95Visual article also talks about resource strain as a major pitfall of not having that clear marketing plan.
Makes sense, right?
Totally. They even say, and I'm quoting here, a marketing plan helps you allocate resources effectively and strategically. Without it, wastage of resources. It's like you don't just throw money at a problem and hope for the best.
You'd be surprised how often that happens, though.
Oh, I'm sure. It's so easy to get caught up in the latest and greatest marketing tactic. But without that roadmap, you end up all over the place.
Absolutely. It's like, remember that old saying, chase two rabbits, you catch none?
Oh, yeah.
I worked with this startup once. They were convinced they needed to be on every single social media platform out there.
Oh, no.
It was chaos. They were spread so thin, trying to create content for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, everything. No real strategy for any of it, just let's be everywhere.
Ugh. Recipe for disaster.
Total disaster. They wasted so much time and money, and none of it really worked because their efforts were totally diluted. You know, a good marketing plan would help them focus. Figure out the one or two platforms where their target audience actually hung out.
Right, like where are you actually going to reach these people? Not just, let's be on everything because it exists.
Exactly. And, you know, that lack of focus, it's not just about external marketing stuff either. The article makes a great point about how it can even mess with the company's internal structure.
Oh, totally. It's all connected. They actually talk about how it impacts company branding, which I thought was super insightful.
Right. Think about it. If your marketing team doesn't really get the company's goals, their values, their whole message, How can they communicate that to the outside world?
You end up with a mixed message.
Completely. Inconsistent messaging, confused customers. It's like a sports team where all the players are super talented, but they're not playing together, No shared game plan.
They're just going to lose.
Exactly. And that internal confusion, it even trickles down to employee morale, too. Because if people don't know what they're working towards, how their work fits into the big picture, they get disengaged.
It's like being asked to build a house without a blueprint. Or even knowing what kind of house you're building.
100%. They might build something amazing, or they might build something completely different from what you had in mind. And then you've got a bigger problem. That lack of clarity just leads to frustration, burnout. It can really impact a company's culture.
And probably lead to people leaving too, right? Higher turnover.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So it's not just about marketing anymore. It's about creating a work environment where everyone's on the same page, working towards a common goal.
Which brings us to another point. The article makes communication chaos. And this is where I think things get really interesting in our data-driven world.
Right. Because the article states that working without a plan puts you at risk of losing important information. And these days, information is everything.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't just mean misplacing a sticky note. We're talking about potentially missing out on valuable customer data, market trends, competitive analysis, all that good stuff.
Right. And a well-crafted marketing plan, it's not just some document you file away. It's like this living, breathing system for capturing and using all that information.
It's like having a giant antenna that's always switched on, picking up on those signals.
I like that.
And without that system in place, it's like you're just guessing.
Flying blind.
Totally. While your competitors are out there using data to make really smart decisions.
It's like they're playing chess, and you're still trying to figure out checkers.
100%. So we've talked about objectives, resources, company structure, communication. I mean, it's clear that a marketing plan really touches every part of a business.
It's the foundation.
It really is. But as 95Visual points out, it's not enough to just have a plan, right? You've got to be ready to adapt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of companies get tripped up. They treat their marketing plan like it's set in stone, like, okay, we've got the plan, we're good. But the reality is it needs to be a living, breathing thing.
Because things change so fast.
All the time, especially in the tech world. Like a new social media platform pops up, there's new technology, consumer behavior shifts, boom, suddenly your perfect plan is outdated.
It's like that Mike Tyson quote, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Right. You got to be able to roll with those punches, adjust your strategy on the fly. And that's where having that solid foundation, that marketing plan, is so crucial. It gives you that starting point to pivot from.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So knowing that things DO change so quickly, what's one thing out there right now that could make a marketing plan outdated practically overnight?
Ooh, that's a good one. Could be anything, right? A new competitor enters the market, the economy takes a turn, or even just a shift in your target audience, what they're into, what they're responding to.
It's a moving target, so you've got to stay flexible, keep your eyes open.
Exactly. Don't just set it and forget it.
Well said. This has been a fantastic deep dive, and I hope everyone listening has a better sense of why a marketing plan is so crucial. It's not just a formality. It's your roadmap to success in the business world. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Ignite podcast, where we fuel your business growth and marketing success. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us. It does help others find the show. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Business Ignite Podcast and share this episode with a friend. Keep the fire burning, and remember, your success is just one strategy away. Until next time, stay ignited.